Kia ora whanau, welcome to Talking About Sports with Raman. So as a passionate Breakers fan, Golden State Warriors, Lakers, Detroit Pistons, I just love basketball in general. It's one of my favourite sports to go to. I love playing, I love watching, reading about players, seeing statistics. I just love everything to do about basketball. But yeah, one thing about this particular video today is I want to get your input, your intake. If you are a basketball fan, where you think the best local basketball court is in Auckland. For me, there's a combination of at least 2 or 3 courts. I'm weighing up options between the court in Mangere, the David Lange Park. Great location, great park. It's got a full court basketball court, half court for local kids, it's got a skate park, ramp, bowl in the middle of the park, and a massive playground. So that's, a great location. The only downside to that is that it's all the way in South Auckland. So if you live in the shore or city, catch a bus or drive, it's a long way to go. But, once you're there on a great hot summer's day, or just a nice day in general, it's a good location to play, and you've got some local talent there, which is great. So I haven't been there actually in a while, but when I do usually go on a Friday or a Saturday, even a Sunday, there seems to be a lot of people there in the afternoon. So great location for families, for kids, and especially for young ballers that just want to learn the game. So that's the David Lange Park in Mangere. Another park that I love playing outdoors, because I'm more of an outdoor basketball fan. I just love, playing on the concrete, meeting different people of all different cultures. But yeah, I'll probably say Victoria Park. On the back of the viaduct, West Haven, one massive full court. I remember when they actually put that basketball court together. It was closed down for a period of time. It would have been about over 10 years ago. And yeah, Victoria Park is just a lovely court to play on. Got the massive reserve and park there where they have, particular events there. And, just players from, the North Shore in Auckland even travel to come to Victoria Park. And I've been talking to various people that will travel all the way from South Auckland, as well as, Warkworth or up in the Rodney district, just to come play on a beautiful afternoon on a weekend at Victoria Park. So yeah, so that's definitely probably in my top 2 courts that I love playing, and it's great for your mental health there. You're surrounded by the park, you're surrounded by different cultures and people, restaurants around. Brittamart's only a 10-15 minute walk from Victoria Park at most. You got the viaduct, West Haven, boats, and you've also got an option that if Victoria Park is not up to your standard, or it's not as busy as what you want it to be, you can always just pop to the West Haven Solo Park courts. And I remember back in the day when they used to have mini 3-on-3 tournaments at the West Haven Solo Park. Oh, it was great. Thursday night all the way till Sunday morning, people would be playing at midnight. You have your local Filipino players playing there, Kiwis, various cultures, and yeah, it was just a great venue. Unfortunately, not many people play on that half court now because there's so many options with basketball courts around Auckland. You've even got the Queen's Wharf with a half court there. I sometimes play there when I'm catching the ferry. I think that's a great idea that they've put a basketball hoop right at the Cloud in Britomart. Fantastic. Yeah, because some kids and families love to come to the basketball court. The only downside of that particular basketball court is that you've got to watch out for all the cars coming in and out for the boats, for the big cruise ships and stuff. So that's the only downside. But apart from that, yeah, it's a good little local hoop if you're around the Britomart area. But yeah, coming back to Victoria Park, yeah, it's close within two at least another 2 courts there. But the downside of Victoria Park also is that you have to probably travel at least 25 minutes away from another full court, court, you know, one that a lot of players go to, and that is Potters Park. So I will mention Potters Park, great place, you know, Dominion Road based, has, you know, KFC, Macca's, Balmoral shops. It's right on the cusp of Mount Eden, shops there as well. Great park, you know, it's hosted the Chinese, there was a Chinese festival about a year or 2 years ago. That was at the local park where I got to see, you know, the PM Christopher Luxon, also, you know, Chris Hipkins for the Labour Party was there as well. So there were a lot of, you know, political leaders there at that event, and at that particular event there, it was called the Moon Festival, yes, and I think that was last year. It attracted so many people that I had never seen Potters Park have more than 50 ballers playing on one full court. Like, when I went to Venice Beach, you know, about 10 years ago, and I played, you know, on one of their main courts, and they have, you know, at least 10 different basketball courts, basketball hoops there and full courts. That was definitely the busiest I've ever seen, just one single basketball court. And, you know, it goes to show that basketball is actually becoming so popular amongst the Kiwi community, and various cultures and people. Basketball is just definitely expanding and getting better and bigger. But yeah, Potters Park, great location. The only downside of that is that the parking is an issue. I have heard that, you know, you can park in opposite the road, but, you know, it is a risk. During the day you might have to pay for it, but in the evenings usually you can just park there for free. So I don't see any big problem with that. But yeah, pickup basketball is huge there. There's, you know, school kids playing there, adults, etc. And yeah, it's just good for the local talent around the Sandrick and Balmoral, Mount Eden community. Yeah, so the main three ones I would say Potters Park, Victoria Park, Mangere. I have played at other locations such as the Jungle and Otara, so that's a really that's just a full court one there. The only downside of that one particularly is that it's a long way to travel out to there. If you're wanting an outdoor court, and if you're living in Auckland Central, it's very similar to like the Mangere court, although there's not any local park there. It's just basically a full court where the local community of Otara, Botany and Ellerslie do actually, and East Tamaki play out there. But yeah, if I had to rate out of those 5 courts, the top one there, based on location, I would definitely say for my area and being central, Potters Park would definitely be, you know, my number one for location. In terms of the structure of the rims and the hoops, Spark down at Victoria Park is it's very consistent. The hoop size is the same at Potters Park. You've got one hoop on the full court that's half a size lower, so that is, you know, a negative as part of the course there. The one in Mangere has great rims, great hoops. Definitely structured the court there. It's just lovely. So I'll say in terms of the court overall, the Mangere one wins. And then I would say Victoria Park would be a close second, then Potters Park a third. And then the Silo Park being the half court, and the other full court one is at the West Haven. I would say that would be last. So, and in terms of parking, I would definitely say Potters Park and Victoria Park are the most difficult places to park. You really have to find and keep your eyes open for a spot there. Great if you're on a Lime scooter or if you're just, you know, catching a bus in. But, you know, if you are parking there, it is a hassle. So the Otara and the one out in Mangere are the best ones for the location in terms of parking. But yeah, let's go back to it. If you are a basketball fan, I will say, you know, the outdoor courts, the best ones in Auckland are definitely your central ones, Potters Park, Victoria Park, and your south ones being the one in Botany, Otara, the Jungle, and definitely the David Lange Park in Mangere. We just touch on a few indoor courts, because if you guys are into indoor basketball, There is one out in Papatoe. It's called the Alan Brewster Leisure Centre. It's fantastic, beautiful courts. There's also the Synergy in New Lynn. So there's primarily only really 2 main basketball courts indoor, and you do have to travel quite a bit to get out to those areas. If you are based on the shore, I know that there's an outdoor court in the Albany, which is quite similar to the Victoria Park setup. There's also the North Shore Event Centre, the YMCA in Akaranga Drive. Yeah, so there's potentially, there's also the Swish Factory Hoops in Wairau. I have been there occasionally a few times. It does cost quite a bit of money to go there, but it's a great facility indoor. So yeah, in terms of that, there are so many options in sport for basketball in Auckland. Let me know where your favourite court is across the country. I would love to hear your input as a basketball fanatic. And yeah, keep balling, keep hooping, and having a great time out there. Cheers.